You were tuned in to episode 26. Yes, I said it. Episode 26 of the Goodfellas podcast. G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru. And I got my right hand with me, VP Shane in the building. What's going on, bro?
I'm good, man. Just here, ready. You jump in the live, just throw in your comments.
Absolutely. Before we get started, a couple of announcements. We got two big fights coming up this weekend that will be on the fantasy league on G5JeffTV.com. Definitely go register. Get your picks in. If I'm feeling friendly, I'll be giving out $100 on the cash app for a perfect prediction. I'm not 100% sure yet.
Why did
Uh,
you pull out? You said it yesterday, did you pull out? You sound like
yeah,
you're pulling out.
yeah.
Bro, on this one, I
I,
feel like you should, because if I'm
listen,
keeping it real, I don't
I,
think no one's going to get stopped.
I
So it's a
need,
safe
I
bet.
need, I need at least 40 people in the league. I need at least 40.
Fair
Like we
enough.
we we in the 30s right now. I need over 40. We get over 40. I'm definitely doing that.
Well,
Um,
here's one who can sign up right here, William Gonzalez.
William Gonzalez, big shout out to you. Go to G5JeffTV.com. Join the Boxing Prediction Fantasy League. $500 for the winner of the league, and you get a championship belt, and it's free, absolutely free. Hold on a second, Shane.
I guess Jeff's got a lot going on. Let me go through the comments. But yeah, as he was saying, just to reiterate, yeah, the prediction league is completely free. You can win $500. If we get to 40 by this weekend, Jeff will be giving out $100 for who gets a perfect prediction for a stoppage. Next comment was Conrad.
Okay.
You think both fights end in a stoppage? And no, I think neither fights end in a stoppage, to be honest. I don't think either fights in it. Well, there's a chance Cambosis can get knocked out, but I don't know. That's a tough one. Uh, L Dub boxing. Shout out to you, bro.
L Dub the plug.
Yeah, too plugged in. Way too plugged in.
Yeah, for sure, man. William Gonzalez. Say Lopez gonna KO dude.
Yeah,
Conrad. Big
William.
shout out to
If you think
Conrad.
William, if you think that, pick it. It's that simple.
Conrad, yeah, I think so too, William. Hold on. Is somebody debating whether Lopez is gonna stop Cambosis?
Me. I said I don't know.
You think he going 12?
I think he can go 12.
You gonna pick that?
I don't know what I'm picking right now. That's why I'm between right now.
that's why we like the prediction fantasy league, man. You gotta put up. Gotta
That's what
put
I'm saying.
up.
I never said he can't. I never said he will. I said he can. He
He
can go
can.
12.
Got you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
I mean,
Um,
watching Teofimo Lopez, he has a small window of which he can knock Cambosis out. If Cambosis goes past 6, Cambosis ain't getting stopped.
William Gonzalez said he going down in 4. Put it on the website, bro. Put it on the
If you
website,
get
man.
that prediction
If it
100% right, that's 7 points right there.
That's 7 points, and that's $100 in the cash app. I'm not gonna bail out. I'm not gonna bail out.
No, it wasn't
Um,
for this fight,
oh,
bro.
it
It
was
was
for
for
the
the
Fulton
Fulton
fight. It
fight.
was for the
It's for the
Fulton
Fulton
fight.
fight.
I'm gonna keep my prediction on that as secret.
The Fulton fight is why I say you should do it more, because it's less likely that that ends in a stoppage.
I got you,
Uh,
bro. I got you.
he says, what site?
I
The
got you.
hottest site, the best boxing site in the entire globe. Conrad will tell you it's the number one site in the globe.
I just put it.
G5JeffTV.com.
I just put it on the. Put it in the chat for you, good brother. Conrad boxing with T.O. stamina. He'll want to end it within 6 or 7.
That's what I'm saying. He's got a small window because George Campbell has got an amazing engine. He's got an amazing engine.
Yeah. Hey man, but big shout out to everybody that's in here, man. We really appreciate it. We know it's in the states, it's the holidays right now. Day before Thanksgiving and all of that. So we appreciate any and everybody that's coming up in here, man. But y'all seen the thumbnail, y'all see the topic. We didn't get a chance to talk about it, so we gonna talk about it today. Demetrius Andrade is the most ducked fighter in the sport. Point blank. Period.
Two ways around it.
There's no getting around it. I know people that are on the other side of the argument. But as usual, I'm gonna let Shane cook first, and then I'll just adjust off of what he's saying.
I don't think you should let me cook first because I can't see how he's not. I always just want
No,
one person to tell me.
I want you to actually cook first because what I'm gonna do is based off of what you say. I'm gonna tell you what other people has told me, and then I'm gonna tell you why it's foolish. Go ahead.
Well, this dude is a dude who, for the last 2 years, has basically made himself available for every fighter around his weight class. Not only has he, not only has fighters turned down contracts, fighters have also signed contracts and bailed out of fights. Fighters have also worked their way into a mandatory position and bailed out of fights. Fighters have also been one fight away from being undisputed and then bailed out of fights. There's nobody on God's green earth that has gone through that level of avoiding. Whether you want to say it's because he's not that good, he's not a big draw, whatever you want to say, there's nobody who's been avoided as much as this individual. Whether you, if you even if you say it's because he's not a draw, you still turn the fight down because he's not a draw. That's not a good enough excuse for because the truth is most people who have turned down this fight have turned down the fight for an amazing reward. Mungia, for example, turned down that fight, which would have been at the time he would have become a two-weight world champion if he had won. Charlo had turned down the fight, and he would have become unified champion if he had won. Canelo turned down that fight or didn't take that fight or make the fight, and he would have been undisputed champion, first ever Mexican undisputed champion, and he turned down that fight. Billy Joe Saunders, it would have been his highest payday, and he turned down that fight. So there's no other reason for why you could justify for all of these, because the reward is just too big for so many dudes to take that fight, to not take that fight. Sorry.
That's all you got?
That's all I have. I'm
Fair
waiting for
enough.
someone to give me an argument because at this point it's just too straightforward.
So let me get in these comments. William Gonzalez said he's a sound boxer. I'm assuming he's talking about Cambosis. Bruce Goes in the building. My guy, what's going on, good brother? William Gonzalez, he called out Munguia. Let's see that. Conrad said evening.
Munguia turned the fight down.
Andre Southgate in the building. What's going on, player? Conrad, Bruce Goes, Conrad Munguia wants Triple G. I heard. Conrad says salute Andre. William Gonzalez, yeah, after Triple G gets that belt, Munguia wants him.
For one, the reason why he wants Golovkin is because Golovkin has shown steady regression. But what people need to understand, it's not guaranteed that Golovkin beats Murata. It is no guarantee that Golovkin beats Murata. Trust me, if you know Murata is probably, outside of Golovkin, the hardest hitting middleweight.
Yeah, William Gonzalez Munguia is a hard fight for anyone. I actually do agree with that. My man L Del the plug. Andrade has 3 mandatories to turn down the title shot. Canelo, Stephen Butler, and Munguia. That's a fact.
That's my point.
That's a fact. William Gonzalez was talking about Boo Boo. He's a good boxer. He's a great boxer.
He's a great boxer.
He's great. He's great, bro. He's been great for a long time. So I let Shane cook first for a reason. This is my reason why I feel like Demetrius Andrade is the most duck fighter in the sport. And I'm gonna keep it short, sweet, really, 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 really simple. You rarely see this with a legit champion. Like, he's a legit champion at 160, and he's been a legit champion at 160 for a while. Okay, that's number one. Number two, He has Eddie Hearn behind him. I don't care about the political affiliations and all of that. You know Eddie Hearn will put that bag up. So
Facts.
you can't say that there's no money in fighting Andre. And you can't say it's too much risk and no reward because when it comes down to it, he has a legit championship belt and he got the money. So the reason why I say that he's the most duck fighter in the sport is I don't condone champions ducking unification smoke. So what's happening here is every other champion and every other mandatory at 160 is ducking unification smoke and title shot smoke. You rarely see that in the history of boxing.
I can't give a
So you
time when I've
rarely
seen that
see it.
before.
You rarely see that in the history of boxing. And the reason why we decided to do this topic today is because I'm glad Andrade actually called out Chris Mannix and all these other guys. He actually need to start listening to us, to be honest with you, because when something is not right within the sport, we putting them on a poster. We putting them on a poster. We on their ass. Point blank. Period. I'm like, when Canelo ducked that fight, shouldn't have got a pass. Munguia ducked the fight, shouldn't have got a pass. Stephen
Charlo,
Butler ducked the fight, shouldn't have got a pass. Charlo ducked the fight, shouldn't have got a
Saunders,
pass. Billy Joe Saunders ducked the fight, shouldn't have got a pass. All of these, and I'm talking the boxing public. I'm talking the boxing public because they pick and choose who they want to rap about. You got a champion, an Olympian, a guy with major money, and he want the smoke. And for some reason, people are still bringing up a failed negotiation from 2014. Like the people that's anti-Andre, they're gonna say, "Oh, um, well, he could have fought Charlo in 2014, and he did this and he did that." And
that
then
was a
they're gonna
different weight
that was
class.
different weight class. Damn, all that, man. That was 6 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like that was 6, 7 years ago. You know what I mean? And on top of that, the other thing is going to be like, oh, well, he could have just signed the PBC. Yes, technically he could have signed the PBC, but let me explain something to people. Just because you sign the PBC does not mean you're going to get what you want. Let me give you a
Exactly.
couple of examples. Gary Russell was basically with Al Heyman. Has he gotten what he wanted? No.
Or 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 let's keep it real. Let's keep it 160. Jamal Charlo. He's with PBC right now. How many big fights or life-changing fights has he made at 160? He was mandatory for Canelo for 2 years. He didn't get that Canelo fight.
I'm gonna take it even further than that. Errol Spence. Earl Spence, he didn't get Keith Thurman when he wanted him. He didn't get Danny Garcia when he wanted him. When he got Kell Brook, he had to go to Kell Brook hometown, and he had to
Hometown
wait.
TV.
And he had to
Yeah,
wait a year and a half. He had to wait a year and a half for it, and they had basically had to force the fight. He technically got the Pacquiao fight, but he got hurt. But his whole career is revolved around him not getting what he wanted, and he signed with
Al
PBC.
Haymon.
So and with Al Heyman. So yes, signing with Al would have put Andrade in a better position. But unless he would have had Charlo in the contract, it's not a guarantee. And what does Al have to offer at 160 outside of Charlo? Are you going to sign a 5-fight, 6-fight deal to fight one fighter one time?
One fighter.
One
No, it
fighter
won't
one
make any
time.
sense. And if you think about it at the time, let's look at the landscape. Golovkin and Canelo was both signed to the zone, and Danny Jacobs and Billy Joe Saunders.
Because to be honest with you,
All of those were signed to
is
the zone, and
is
Munguia.
at
They were all
at the
signed to the
time
zone.
at the time that he signed with the zone actually had more to offer in regards to opponents at 160 than PBC did.
That is a
So
fact.
that's why I don't even understand the argument of like you should have signed with Al. Because at the end of the day, I'm like, there was 6 guys that he could have fought on the zone side that Al couldn't offer. And then even if you don't want to go with that one, right? I'm cooking today. Even if you don't want to go with that, this year we have seen multiple title fights where there has been cross promotion,
Cross promotion.
guys crossing the street. So there's no excuse. Like there's no excuse for guys to be ducking the way they ducking. And I'm like, Triple G don't want that Andrade smoke because he don't say nothing about it. Munguia, he was just in the ring a couple weeks ago. Didn't
Mandatory.
say
He's mandatory.
mandatory.
He's currently
Mandatory.
Andre. Have you ever seen a current mandatory, call out a champion in another weight class? I'll give you an example of how it is. That is like right now we see who can I use as an example? Who can I use as an example in Devin Haney, for example? Devin Haney is the mandatory for. In fact, that's even a bad example. I'm trying to think of an example. Okay, Dylan White. That is like when if Dylan White's Tyson Fury's mandatory, that is like Dylan White calling out Usyk, but refusing to fight Tyson Fury, despite the fact that he's Tyson Fury's mandatory. It makes no sense. Yeah. It makes absolutely no sense.
All right, so it's like, and that's why I said the boxing public, they pick and choose who they want to ride with, and that's cool. But I'm like, don't talk about Andrade and the opponents he's fighting when you got the top dogs in the sport that don't even want to look his way, let alone get in the ring with him. Don't even want to look his way. So it's like, he's an Olympian, he's a champion, he's undefeated,
and he talks
shit, and he got the bag behind him.
Facts.
You got to call out these other champions, and I'm talking about other channels. I'm talking about other YouTube people, all that. Like, cut the bullshit. Let's keep it real. Cut the bullshit. And these champions is ducking. Y'all should be calling out these champions, because at the end of the day, we'll call out Canelo in a heartbeat because he won't get in the ring with Benavidez. We'll call him out all day long. He won't get in the ring with Beterbiev or Bivol. He won't get in there with Zerto. He won't get in there with Charlo. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, so we pick and choose. People pick and choose their spots on who to complain about when it come down to smoke. I'm like, you got a champion and an Olympian, and he's undefeated, and he's asking for the smoke.
I can't even get his mandatory in the ring.
He can't get his mandatories in the ring. He can't get his mandatories in the ring. All I'm saying is, you don't have to like Andrade. You got to embrace that, though. If you a real media outlet and you really about the sport, like, you really about that, like, you got to support that. You got to support that. Period. Because Jamal Charlo has done more suspect shit than Andrade has.
Definitely.
And I'm talking comments in the media, all that. And I got a lot of respect for Charlo. You understand what I'm saying? Let me get in these comments real quick. So he's starting.
Where you are? We're here.
Where we at?
Yeah, we're here. Read the quick comment.
No, I think we missed the one before that. We missed a couple before that.
No, we read this. No, I was talking.
I didn't read L Dub's right. Oh no, we did. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm just.
All right, go ahead. Click on the one. I'm sorry. My bad.
You're tripping, bro. My bad. I just saw the Lopez Cambosa's presser. I like Boso, but more and more, and the Lopez and the two Lopez's less and less. Bro, I've always liked George Cambosos because he's a hard hat type of fighter. Put on the hard hat and get to work. He's just not skilled enough to beat Teofimo Lopez, but I like him though.
Eddie Hearn's a good
William, Eddie Hearn's a good promoter.
I think he is.
Yeah, he's good. I think Charlo gonna fight Andrade. I got Charlo in that fight. It would be a good one. I don't think he's gonna fight him at all. The 2008 US Olympic class are the most hated class in history. Rather Andrade and Russell. The difference with Russell is that he deserves most of the hate that he gets.
Yeah.
I never understood the Andrade hate. Me neither. Never understood it. Who you guys like? Crawford versus Spence. I like Crawford. Canelo fueled the Andrade hate. Yeah, I know, but the truth is, like, by Canelo not fighting Andrade, it gave everybody else a pass not to fight Andrade.
That's a fact.
Because Canelo was pound for pound number one, even though he refused to take that fight.
But he had a lot of hate prior to that.
Yeah,
a lot of hate prior to that. And the thing about it is, people put the target on Andrade back because he didn't sign with Al, and that's the part that I don't get. Because I might Charlo's not the biggest bag at 160.
Nope.
He's
He's
not
not
the
even the
biggest bag.
second biggest
He's
bag.
not even the second. He's not even the second biggest bag at 160. So I've heard dudes that I know personally say, "Oh, well, he should have signed with Al." Like, I'm not trying to hear about Andre because he didn't sign with Al. I'm like, Al had nothing to offer at 160. Nothing. Even Canelo was signed with the Zone at the time that Andre signed with the Zone. Why would he sign
Literally.
with Al?
Canelo, Golovkin, Munguia, Billy Joe Saunders, they were all
Murata.
signed. No, Murata is like, obviously because he's based in Japan. Most the Zone pick up his fights, but obviously he's not signed to the Zone though. But he pick up
But it's
his fights. But
affiliated. Yeah, he's
yeah,
affiliated.
but at that time, like you have so much fighters that's signed to the Zone. I just don't see why you would. There was no point at that time. Like the Zone literally had all the fighters that was there that was worth it. And even when he signed to Eddie Hearn, Charlo wasn't even the champion. Canelo was the champion. So really and truly, he's fighting Charlo in a fight that hasn't even got any reward to it. It just doesn't really make sense to me. And Jacobs was signed to the
Danny
Zone at the
Jacobs was
time as
signed on
well.
that side of the street too. That's what I'm saying. I don't let people slide with that argument. I don't let people slide with that argument. At the end of the day, I really don't. Second Ezra in the building, man, said what I missed. You ain't really missed nothing, man. We just cooking up right now as far as Android is concerned. It's just and you know what? I had a conversation with somebody on Instagram, right, in the DMs, and he was talking. He sent me a clip of Leonard Ellaby, and he was going at Blue Blood because he be talking. Apparently, he be talking crap about Tank. So like Leonard Ellaby just refused to acknowledge him or whatever. So he's trashing him a little bit. And I told the guy to send it to me. I said, "Yo, you got to be responsible with that microphone. You got to be responsible with that microphone, man. Like you can't get on that microphone and be talking all this stuff, and then you actually go into fights thinking you're not gonna see these people. Like if you can't, whatever you saying, if you can't say it to the grill, don't say it. Like you know what I'm saying? Like don't say it at all. And you have to be responsible when you have these platforms. You have to be responsible with your microphone. And I'm like, with Android, I'm like, if you don't support unification, I don't care what weight class it is, I don't care who it is. We support unification at the end of the day. And if it's champions that's ducking unification, we got a problem with it.
Facts.
Period. 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 You know what I'm saying? Like, is all unifications the same? No, it's not. But unification is unification. Champion versus champion. That's what we want at the end of the day. It's like the playoffs in any other sport. You know what I mean? So people need to stop bullshitting. Get that man his flowers, and these champions need to step up and fighting. William Gonzalez, what happened to Danny Jacobs? Hey man, listen, man, I'll answer this one. Danny Jacobs, man, he got them silk sheets. Got them
Literally, he
silk. He
made that
got them.
nice money.
Yeah, he got them silk sheets, man. He got that Canelo bag. Um, I mean, even the back in the day, the Triple G bag was nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he got them silk sheets, man. Got a nice lady now. Yeah, yeah. Them silk sheets is crazy. He got multiple colors too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Chris G in the building. My boxing son is in the building. Says Spence famous for using the other side of the street excuse. Yeah, Chris, he can't get. Yeah, he can't use that no more. He can't use that no more. Because I'm like now, what he's probably gonna try to do, because he's just moving the way he's just moving this way. He's probably gonna try to fight Ugas, try to get the third belt, and then try to kick this percentages again. I guarantee you that's what he's gonna do. And I might and the thing is, and if that's the angle he's going, I hope Ugas beats him. Because this
But
because the bitch won't.
the truth is though, but if he does beat Ugas and play the percentage rule, what's the difference between him and what AJ? Because that's exactly what AJ done. AJ tried to go and get picked up all the other belts and said, well, I got 3 belts. You have this amount of belts. I deserve this amount of money. There's no
Yeah.
difference between what he done and what AJ done.
There is no difference, but at the same time, the difference is Terrence Crawford is a true free agent. He's a true free agent. So I'm like, that fight could technically all be under one umbrella. It's not a cross promotion. You know what I'm saying? It's not a cross promotion. He don't
No,
have
but he
to
still
go,
could. He
he
can
don't have to go
still
back
do
and forth.
percentage though. He
Yeah,
can still do percentage.
Yeah, he can still do percentage, but I'm like, my point is Spence can't hold that over his head. He can't hold that over his head because he's not signed with anyone else.
If he says 70-30, should Crawford take that fight?
The thing is, Al is not gonna allow that. Because listen, if Spence says 70-30, you might as well say you don't want to fight him. Because at this point, right? At this point, the amount of straps don't determine like it doesn't technically determine your percentages. It weighs on it. But I'm like, Terrence Crawford is hotter than fucking Spence in these streets right now. He hotter than Spence in these streets right now. Spence is the one coming off the car accident. He's the one coming off of the inactivity. He's the one that had one fight in like 2 years and shit. He's the one that's not hot. He's the one that missed out on the Pacquiao fight. He's the one that's not hot in the streets right now. Bud is. So I'm like, regardless if he got 2 straps, 3 straps at the end of the day, I'm like, Bud Crawford, he deserves to stand on his square. I wouldn't take no 70-30. I wouldn't take no 70-30, period. Because if PBC follows the same model with every single pay-per-view that Spence has, when he fought Danny, they both got the same base amount. When he fought Sean, they both got the same base amount. You can't get the Bud, you can't accept that from them two, and then you get the Bud and you talking 70-30 on the base. You ain't followed that model. You ain't followed that model all these other times.
Yeah.
You're gonna find out real quick whether Spence want that fight or not. You're gonna find out real quick because it's really no excuses now. There's really no excuse. And the thing is, it's not for him to hold numbers over his head. That's for Al to figure out because it's gonna be under his umbrella. That's for Al to figure out. Spence can't hold that over. If he was still a top rank, then he could hold that over his head. Spence can't get away with that shit now. Period. William Gonzalez don't think Spence is ducking anybody. Arum couldn't make the fight happen. No, William, we talking about right now. Right now. Bud ain't with Top Rank. We talking right now, bro. Right now. Boxing Learner in the building, man. Said what's going on. William Gonzalez, I think Spence is gonna fight Crawford next. 60-40 split. I think William, and Shane, I actually want you to comment on that one. But I would be cool with a 60-40 split on the back end. I'd be cool with a 60-40 split on the back end, William. Not on the front end.
I mean, a fight like that, personally, I would be, if I would try and make a 2-fight deal on that fight. And if Crawford wins, I'll take 60-40, but in the rematch, I'm taking 80-20.
Right. Yeah,
the reason I'm saying that, because if I beat you, at that stage, I have nothing else more to prove, and I actually can retire right now and be a 2-weight undisputed champion. And I beat you.
Yeah.
If I'm taking less money and I beat you in the rematch, not only do I have to take more money, but you're not bringing anything to the table at that stage.
And you know what? Let me add on to what you said, Shane. When you talk about big fights and mega fights, you don't even think about it. You don't even talk about splits at that point. You talk about the guaranteed money. Think about it. When Wilder fought Fury all 3 times, you heard nothing about splits. You just heard about the guaranteed cash. So that's what I'm saying. He can't even hold that. He can't even say that shit.
That's a fact. Even when AJ was going to fight Fury this year in Saudi Arabia, we were just hearing hundreds of millions of dollars. You weren't even hearing splits.
You weren't hearing those splits. I'm like, that was that PBC Top Rank talk, man. Spence can't get away with that shit now. Conrad said, facts, Bud is the hottest deal at welterweight. Yeah, he's the hottest in the division right now.
You could argue that Boots' name hotter than Spence right now.
Boots' name is hotter than Spence's name right now in these streets. like the two hottest names at 147 is Boots and Bud. Bud and then Boots. You know what I'm
And
saying?
then I would argue, now this is just because of where I am geographically, I would argue Conor Ben is up there as well. Just
Top
because of
five.
where I am. Just
Yeah,
because
right.
in like he's got a very big boss. I
No,
don't think he's
listen,
as good, but he's
his
got a
name
good
hotter
boss.
than Keith Thurman's right now. His name is hotter than Danny Garcia's right now. That's a fact. Conrad said, and we got two future stars coming up. I'm assuming you're talking about Fulton and Figueroa, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. Spence's stocks keep dropping. Yeah, his stock is definitely dropping, man. But that's what I'm saying. Like it's like Spence has been, and I'm a fan of Spence, but Spence been throwing out roadblocks for the past 2 years, overplaying your hand. Yeah, in my personal opinion. Chris G, they do 60-40 for pay-per-view splits, probably. Yeah, they should just guarantee both of them an X amount of money. Like, and then do the split on the
How
back. But
much
see,
is
the thing is,
how much money does that fight make? How much pay-per-view sales does that do? 800,000, 600,000,
I
700,000.
would say, I would say between, I would say between 6 to 8.
Fair enough.
I would say between 6 to 8.
That
But
means they got a guarantee then. I mean, how much did Furman and Pacquiao do? Because Furman's guarantee was supposed to be 8 million for that fight, or he supposedly made 8 million. So how much is
I don't know. Oh well, yeah, pay-per-view should be a lower price, this, that, the third. And I say this all the time. I'm like, it doesn't matter what the price is. If somebody not gonna buy it, they're not gonna buy it. It could be $4.99. If they're not gonna buy it, they're not gonna buy it. You know what I'm saying? Chris
yeah,
G,
definitely.
Spence don't want it. You can tell by his reaction to the questions. He doesn't seem enthusiastic. The way he not doing that with Bud. He said, yeah, pay-per-view, 60-40. Yeah, because of inactivity. 600,000.
600,000.
600,000.
I mean,
Over, I'll be right back, Shaq.
Canelo, okay, Canelo and Golovkin done, I think, what, 900,000 or something? So Canelo and Golovkin done 900,000. I don't think um, Spence and Bud will reach that level. But at the same time, Wilder Fury done 800,000, the first done 800,000, the second one, I think, or did it do 1 million? So there's a chance. I don't think it's gonna hit that high neither. I think 600, 700. That's probably a fair number to say. Conrad Boxing, I meant Boots and Ortiz. Yeah, they're two young kids coming up. That 147's got a lot of young kids coming up. Let's say, for example, both are guaranteed 5 million, and then 60, 40, 55, 45 split in Spence's favor. I think would be the best case scenario. Yeah, I can see that, especially if they're splitting, let's say, 70 million, 60 million on a pay-per-view, because their pay-per-views are $100. They make 600,000 pay-per-view buys. They probably end up having to split 500,000 because 100,000 goes to the television company. So yeah, they not 100,000. They 100,000 of the buys will go to the television company. So they're probably gonna have to split 500,000, which is like they're probably gonna get a guarantee of like 25 back in 25 million or something like that. So it's gonna be both of their highest paydays for sure. Mal Williams, what's up, fellas? You ready for Tank to put on a show on the 5th of December, and how do you think that fight will go? I think Tank will knock him out, and I think he'll knock him out probably in the first 6 rounds. William Gonzalez, I'm saying for Crawford and Spence to do 600,000. Yeah, I know what you're saying. No, Canelo and Triple G done one and two did over 1 million each. Okay, if they both did over 1 million, then there's a chance that Crawford and Spence could actually do 800,000, because I don't think, even though Canelo's a massive name, that fight is still very big. Miles Williams, and also Lopez Campos is gonna go down a treat at the Garden. Yeah, I think that's a good fight, but Fulton versus Figueroa is way more intriguing to me. That fight is the fight of the absolute. To me, it's one of the best fights of the year. And the winner versus Ahmed Alayev, that's probably one of the fights of the year. I've been looking forward to that fight. I literally went to Philadelphia to see Stephen Fulton, but yet he flew out by that time. But yeah, that's a fight, bro. Bro, that's like Christmas come early for me, bro. There's no way I'm not staying up to watch that fight. Louis Payne, bro, I ain't seen you in a long time. I ain't seen you in an absolute long time, bro. You need to go to the website and sign up to the prediction league and make your prediction so you can win $500. It's free to join. G5JustTV.com. Make your predictions. If you win the league, you get $500 for free. That easy. Boxing is dead. The UFC gets it right, putting the best versus the best. Boxing is run by dinosaurs. Bro, I can't agree with that. This year, we've seen more unifications and undisputed fights than any other year in boxing. We can't criticize what boxing is doing right now. Still way money in boxing, though. That's a fact. And you can't argue with boxing this year. This year, we've seen Chocolatito versus Strada. We've seen um, we've seen Josh Taylor versus Jose Ramirez, Castano versus Charlo, Canelo versus Plant, Wilder versus Fury. What else have we seen? We're gonna see Figueroa versus Fulton. We're about to see Murata versus Golovkin. What other weight classes have we? I'm just telling you the fights that we've seen unifications. We might get Bradis versus Coley, another unification. What other weight class? I mean, I can't think of off the dome, but literally we've seen like I've counted what eight unifications already in 1 year, 3 undisputed fights in 1 year. I mean, you can't ask for more. We were supposed to see another unification in Pacquiao versus Errol Spence, which would have been a ninth unification in 1 calendar year. 9 unifications in 1 calendar year. I mean, when are you gonna see that? This has been a fantastic year for boxing. 3 undisputed fights in 1 year. Bro, let's stop complaining about boxing, bro. Let's stop complaining about what boxing is bringing. Figueroa versus Fulton is real boxing. It doesn't have the drama of Lopez and Cambosos, but the best versus the best, and that's what we want to see. Well, it's arguably the best versus the best because you still got Ahmed Aliyev in that division, and Ahmed Aliyev is clearly one of the best in the division. Many will argue that he's the best in the division, and I don't know if he's the best. I feel like it's clear that Ahmed Aliyev, Fulton, and Figueroa are the 3 best fighters in the division. But we'll end up seeing. But it's good that 1 or 2 of the 3 are fighting this week. And then Ahmed Aliyev fought last week. Raisa Lim is fighting as well. So the 122 division is definite. Bro, I'm way more interested in Figueroa or Fulton than Cambosis Lopez. Way more interested. It's not even close. Not even close, bro.
Facts.
Great year for boxing, bro. I've been saying it, bro. This year is the best year for boxing. 8 unifications. We were supposed to have 9. 3 undisputed fights in 1 calendar year. Bro, can't complain. And then you got a fight like Fury versus a Wilder. Bro, you can't complain. 8 unifications in 1 year.
This actually,
and I missed some.
This is actually one of the best boxing years and probably in the last decade.
I think it's one of the best boxing years I've seen in my life. If I think about it. And you also got to remember there's a pandemic as well, and we're still getting big fights.
It's a great time for boxing, and it's just we got distracted with the Triller stuff and all of that, man. But when you really break down the amount of fights, the amount of unifications, the cross promotion fights, I mean, it's one of the best years in boxing we've had in a while. You can't even complain about boxing and where it is. You can't complain about it because I'm like the boxing's never been more open to cross promotion fights. I mean, we just seen Sean Porter on Top Rank. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so it's boxing is starting to make a turn for the better, and hopefully they'll be able to continue it. Miles Williams in the building. Big shout out to you, bro. He said Pula still beats Frank Mir in that boxing versus MMA. Come on, man. You messing up the vibe, bro. Boxing learner AJ versus Usyk. Yeah, we had
Oh
AJ
yeah, that's
versus
another
Usyk as
fight.
well. That was another one.
But that
I,
wasn't a unification. I just listed
that
unification.
was
That's all I
right.
was listening.
Andre said, yeah, boxing came back this year. Awesome year for it. Absolutely. William, I think next year going to be better.
Potentially,
YSM, potentially, yeah.
potentially.
Potentially, yeah. YSM, I feel you. But if you line up who each fighter has beaten, Fulton and Figueroa are at the top of the division.
I don't think
Um,
so because you can argue that Danny Roman is better than Angelo Leo. You can argue, and Ahmed Alayev
no,
beat Danny Roman.
Danny Roman is better than Leo. Like, let's just keep it a buck. He's better than Leo. And I
I
like Leo.
mean, Lewis Neri now, Brandon Figueroa beating Lewis Neri now. That's different. That is a definite. That is an
Listen,
amazing
let
win.
me ask you this. Does the winner of that fight crack your pound for pound list?
Of what fight?
Figueroa and Fulton.
If Figueroa beats Fulton, he's in my top. He's in my top seven. He's in my top seven. Now I could argue Fulton, but the thing is, I like Angelo Leo, but I don't think and just one Angelo
I
Leo win can
Yo,
do
I
it. I
can't
don't
stand
think
you. I
so.
can't stand. I can't stand you, yo. I can't
Why?
stand you, yo. We fucking think too much alike. What I was getting ready to say was I said if Brandon Figueroa wins this fight, man, he cracks my top 10. Because when you
Yeah,
beat Luis Neri and Stephen Fulton back-to-back fights, I gotta give it to you. Now, as
yeah.
far as Fulton is concerned, despite him defeating, I think it's 7 or 8 undefeated fighters,
Undefeated fighters. Yeah.
and he will be coming off of a Brandon Figueroa win. I probably wouldn't put him in my top 10 pound for pound unless he beats Akhmad Dalayev.
And the
So,
funniest thing is, like, I love Stephen Fulton. I
me
think
too. Me
Stephen Fulton is
too.
one of my
Hell yeah.
favorite fighters. Like,
Yeah.
literally, he's one of my favorite fighters.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it's just how things have lined up. It's not his fault. It's just how things have lined up. I really rated Lewis Neri, and trust me, personally, I think I rate Ahmed Alayev so high. I think the only person at that weight class that can beat him is Fulton. I don't think. I think if Brandon Figueroa fights Ahmed Alayev beats him. I'm being dead serious because
Beats Fulton.
no, he beats Figueroa. I
He
think
beats
Ahmed
Figueroa. I think he
Alayev
beats
beats
Figueroa.
Figueroa, but
Okay,
I
so
don't think. I think Fulton. I think Fulton versus Ahmed Alayev. That's why I want Fulton to
I
win
think
this week
for
because
yeah, I think
that's the fight.
Fulton. That's yeah. Why I said Leo Greer, K Guy Avalar. Come on, bro. Yeah, he said this is the fourth straight undefeated fighter. See, that's the
Yeah,
thing. Like that's the thing. Like you have guys that are not afraid to fight undefeated fighters. Obviously, Stephen Fulton is not afraid to fight undefeated fighters. And that's where it's a toss up for me because I'm like, if I put Fulton in my top 10 pound for pound off of a Figueroa win, like him fighting and defeating undefeated fighters would fall right in line. It'd be just as up there as the Figueroa win. Because so I'm basically asking myself, is a win over Brandon Figueroa enough for him to crack my top 10 pound for pound?
I
That's
mean,
literally what I'm at. That's literally what I'm asking.
I,
So
I
I'm like,
mean,
it's
it,
literally what
it's
I'm
it,
asking.
it's difficult because the reason why I say it's difficult is because my top 10 is actually pretty stacked. But when I look at it, I
Right.
feel I feel like it's very difficult because you got to also look at who else is in his division. Now, with Ahmed Alive, the reason why his one is a bit different is because he's a dude he's just like the other Eastern European Asian fighters or Eastern Asian Middle Eastern fighters who come from a mad amateur background and all of a sudden they get a world title fight. I think in his sixth fight he was in the Unification. That's
Yeah.
what you get with these guys with a massive. So it's more eye test when I look at Ahmed Alive, as well as the fact that he beats everybody he fights, and obviously he beat Danny Roman, and he's a unified champion. But he's also the fact that when you look at him, you can tell he's just way more accomplished than Figueroa.
Yeah,
He's not more accomplished than Fulton, because Fulton is very versatile.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, because if Brandon Figueroa beats Fulton, I can literally say he's beaten 2 of the top 5 guys
In the division.
in the division, and one was a unification.
Mm-hmm.
That would justify me putting Brandon Figueroa in my pound for pound list. But if I ask the same question for Fulton, I'm literally asking, he beat Angelo Leo and
Figueroa.
Brandon and Figueroa in a
My,
unification. Is that
my,
enough?
my top 5 at 122 is Figueroa, Fulton, Ahmed Alayev, Rais Alim, and Lewis Neri.
And
That's my
Rosemary.
top 5.
Yeah, that's my
And then
top 5.
6 will be Danny Roman.
Yeah.
And Fulton hasn't beaten any of those dudes, but if he beats Figueroa, he would have beaten one of those dudes.
And some people put Danny Roman ahead of Rais Alim, to be honest with you.
Some people will, but I really like Rais. I really like Rais.
And I ain't just saying that because he's a friend of the show, but he's a problem.
Just based off the eye test, I really like Rais.
Yeah,
and plus,
he's a problem.
Plus, when I saw the way Ahmed Alayev fought Danny Roman, he literally just made. Remember his face, baby face. He made him look like a baby in that fight. Like he just manhandled him. It was.
I think Fulton. I would really have to think about it, and it's not even a knock against Fulton. It's the fact that it's the fact that, like Shane said, my top 10 pound for pound is pretty heavy. So
who's your top 10 pound for pound? You missed this comment, by the way, but go on. Off the dome.
Okay. Hold on. Next year we are getting Spence Crawford, Fury Usyk, Wilder Ruiz, Charlo Boo Boo, Haney versus Lopez, Munguia, Triple G, William Gonzalez. If we get all that, I'll be happy.
And we're getting Charlo Castano. That's actually announced.
That's why I'm just saying. What do y'all think of Carlos Castro?
Is that for me or is that for Jeff?
I guess we can both go. Go ahead, Shane.
It's a funny one. It's a funny one because someone like Castro, I kind of want to see, and I kind of want to see him fight. It's a lot of dudes. When you fight at lower weight classes, it's all about your stand-up fight. You fighting someone that's gonna make your name. He's kind of in a similar position to where what's it called? Where Figueroa was before he fought Lewis Neri, or where Fulton was before he fought Angelo Leo, or where Ahmed Alayev was before he fought Roman. You know, you need, or Oscar Valdez was before he fought Bachel. You need that one fight that's gonna propel you to the forefront of everybody's imagination.
Yeah, that career definer.
Yeah, you need that career definer.
That's what I'm waiting for as well. I mean, the record is impressive. Who did he fight last? Was it Escondón? I think he fought Escondón in the last fight.
I don't even think I watched his last fight. I think he fought
Escondón in his last fight. I like Castro, man. I'm just waiting for him to have that defining moment.
Yeah, you just need that. You just need that. That fight to like.
That signature fight.
That's what Rais Ali needs. Rais Ali needs that.
Because his last 2 performances has been excellent.
Exactly. You know who I wanted to see Rais Ali fight? I wanted to see Rais Ali fight Almeida. I wanted to see Rais versus Almeida.
That'd been a good fight.
And
I think he beats Danny Roman too.
Of him versus Roman will be a good fight, or Rios. Rios would be a good fight as well, but apparently Rios is supposed to be fighting Ahmed Alayev, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. That's a good question though. D Hodges, what's going on, player? D Hodges Dub, D Hodges Conrad, Miles Williams. Looking forward to Charlo Castano too. The first bout was interesting. We can cook on that. Listen, I want to make this clear. Charlo was the more talented fighter. He's the more physically talented fighter. He's the more skilled fighter. But his boxing IQ is skinnier than Fundora, man. Is skinny. You know what I'm saying? His
Literally.
IQ is skinny in the ring, man. And that's what
And
gets him in
Ahmed
trouble.
and Castano fights so much better than he should. Because if you look at what he has, he doesn't have long arms. He's not that athletically gifted. He's not that physically talented in terms of his dimensions or being blessed with any physical specific gift. He just fights much better than what he was given. You know, when someone has certain tools and they literally can make stuff out of nothing, that's Castano.
Yeah, he Castano has maximized his talent. It's kind of similar to Sean Porter. He has maximized his talent, and you got to respect that at the end of the day. But I
I
think
mean, could you
what's the
imagine
one
if
thing?
he
Hey, bro,
gone?
what's the one thing Charlo can do change to win that fight?
I mean, he has to try and deploy lateral movement, lot more than he done in the last fight, because you can't sit in the pocket with Castano because he's just gonna outwork you. And as we saw, it was very easy for Castano to outwork him. Yes, Charlo hurt him a lot of the time, but what we saw is if you're looking for a really good single, you're gonna lose a lot of rounds until that good single comes. And that's what we saw. The worst thing that could happen to Charlo was he landed a real good shot in the first round. Because from that point onwards, he
Spoiled it.
kept looking. He kept looking for that one good shot instead of,
Mm-hmm.
you know what, I'm just gonna try and win these rounds. I
Facts.
feel like I don't know if he's gonna make an adjustment
It's
or if
hard.
he's gonna go out there and try to get rid of him. The problem
It's
is Castano's gonna be there all night, man.
yeah. It's hard to swing for singles and doubles when you don't hit a home run on your first at bat. You know what I'm saying?
Literally,
Like, you know
literally.
what I'm saying? So yeah, I think if Charlo's lack of IQ inside of the ring gives Castano a much better shot than what he should have, if
If
that makes any
Castano,
sense.
if
He could win that
Castano,
fight.
if Castano was undisputed champion right now, he would be. It would be an amazing advert for boxing because it would show that this is what hard work brings. Hard work always beats talent. And let's keep it real. This dude would have won that fight purely and simply based on hard work. It would have been like, it's all cool seeing Canelo, a superstar, an undisputed champion. But someone so regular like Castano, it's like, wow. You start to think maybe anyone can be undisputed champion. And that's what we need in
Hey,
boxing.
let me throw this at you. Little scenario, right? Let's say February Castano beats Charlo.
Hmm.
Castano's the unified champion of the world. Bud has a choice. He fights Ugas, or does he fight Castano for all the belts?
I'm
Which one
fighting
should he take?
Castano for all the belts. Because I'm fighting. Okay, I'll say this. I'm
Because
fighting Castano
that's
for
a
all the
legacy
belts.
that'll put him in icon status
I'm
if he
fighting
pulls that
Castano for
off.
all the belts. I would even fight Castano for all the belts before I fight Spence.
Now that's something I wouldn't do. I wouldn't do it.
Only reason why is because I can always come back down and see Spence.
But see,
I
the
can
thing is
always come back down and see Spence.
because of his injury issues, that's the only reason I wouldn't do it. I would jump on Spence ASAP because you don't know if he's gonna retire. You don't know what excuse he's gonna come up with. So if he can get Spence first,
But if
he gotta take
if 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 Castano, if he beats Castano and Castano has all the marbles, Terence Crawford don't need Spence. He
that
don't need Spence.
in a
From a
sense.
legacy perspective, not from a
From a
financial,
legacy,
from a legacy
from a
perspective.
legacy perspective, if Castano or Charlo wins that fight in February, and they say, "Hey, Bud, come see me at 154 for all these straps," and Bud wins that fight, that trumps everything Spence has done. That trumps
Oh,
everything.
that's a fact.
That trumps everything. So people act like Bud don't have options. Bud does have options, but it's just Spence is the option that everybody wants him to take. But we need for Spence to be receptive of it, more so than he has with other guys. You understand what I'm saying? He's showing more energy towards other guys, Keith Thurman, Pacquiao, guys like that. Say salute D Hodges. Pack is in the building. Say LOL. Shane talent beats hard work too.
That's true, of
Yeah,
course.
talent hard works beat talent when talent don't work hard. That's what that is. Bruce Schools, boxing is the only sport where the fighters pick their own opponents. Try that in any other sport. That's it's Bruce Schools. It's a sport all within its own, man, for sure. D Hodges, Bruce Schools. Um,
But what I wanted to get back into was the whole Andrade Andrade situation. What does Andrade do next?
that's a good question, man. I like at this point, he should just go on a whole smear campaign, yo. Just smear everybody. Triple
What do you
G.
mean?
Just talk about everybody. Just dog everybody. Triple G, Mungia. Um, I think it'll be a good fight for him. And Andre, I mean not Jacobs. It's Jacobs. I don't like Jacobs at 68. I ain't like him at 75. I don't like him at
No.
68. He should be at 60. That's a good fight. That's a good fight for
But
Andre.
but but what I hope happens, and I pray, you don't know how much I've been praying for this to happen. Please, I hope Murata beats Golovkin. Oh my gosh, I pray. Oh my gosh.
I think Murata will come get that smoke. I think
And
Murata will come get that smoke.
Murata will fight
Murata will fight him.
Andrade.
He'll fight him.
Murata will. That's why I want Murata to win. I'm praying Murata. And what people don't understand is Murata has more chance of beating Golovkin now than Derevianchenko did. Because for one, Murata hit so hard.
I
So
like
hard. And for the first go on.
Derevianchenko. That'll be a good fight for Andre too.
I don't think so, because I'm just thinking, what's the reward? What is the reward for that fight?
And you know what? I'm glad you said that because Andrade has deserved a unification fight. He deserves a unification fight. Period. He deserves a unification fight. Miles Williams, he said, I think Andrade should give Eubank a shot. I like that fight, but I think he deserves unification.
I said that fight before, but now that Eubank is with Sky, and you know for a fact Eddie Hearn will never go back with Sky.
Yeah.
That's going to be very hard for that fight to happen.
Yeah, Bruce Schools, Andre just has to keep fighting. He getting on and can't afford to take the time off. Yeah, he needs to stay busy.
100%.
He needs to stay busy. Absolutely.
But it's just annoying from a fan perspective because we have to watch Andrade, a fighter who can potentially be in historic fights, just fight dudes that he's just way better than.
And L-Dub the plug back at it. Read that one, Shane.
Andrade versus Janabek is a credible defense if no unification. I don't agree.
You don't agree with that? Really?
Nope. I don't agree. Because to me,
are you saying that because of the name? Are you saying that because of the name?
I'm saying that because of the risk versus reward. That's a high risk, low reward.
Yeah, if you're looking at it from that aspect, I understand that.
Because in terms, he used a word that is credible. It's credible, so I agree with that. But let's look at what Andrade deserves. I want Andrade to fight Murata or Golovkin or Charlo. I actually see Murata potentially beating Golovkin because I think Golovkin is real long in the tooth, and the last thing you want to be doing as a person, which you've seen in his last 4 fights, he's very defensively irresponsible. He's always been defensively irresponsible, but now he's defensively irresponsible with no with age and inactivity against a known puncher. Please, Murata, knock this dude out. Please, in front of your hometown, just knock this dude smooth out. But I don't know if that's gonna happen. Andrade has no time for risk versus reward.
Nah, that's 100% facts, man. It's L-Dub. I hear what you're saying in regards to the quality of opponent. It's just the risk. That's a real high risk.
Okay, the reason why I say he shouldn't take that fight is because if he loses, oh my gosh, it will give everybody an excuse. I told you he weren't nothing. He lost to a nobody. He lost to someone that nobody knows. And he definitely ain't going to get a fight then. That would just give people a reason to duck him.
Nah, that's a fact, and the thing is, like we've seen this all the time in regards to boxers. You know, when they looking invincible and shit, everybody ducks them. At the end of the
And
day, everybody ducks
if
them.
he wins, people just say, "Oh, you just fought another
He
nobody."
just fought a yeah, exactly. Uh, uh, yeah. Bruce Gould said Andre has no time for risk versus reward. I agree. I agree. He's earned his stripes at the end of the day, and one of these champions need to step up and go pay Andre to visit. You know what I'm saying? And stop, stop holding that whole situation that happened in 2014 over that man head. Chill with that shit, man. Like, because people use that as an excuse now. Oh well, this happened in 2014. I'm like, yeah, you probably did some dumb shit too in fucking 2014.
The,
Like,
the, the, the
stop
truth
it.
is, bro, when you look at the landscape, Charlo got offered that fight, he turned it down. Canelo was one fight away from being undisputed, he didn't take the fight. Billy Joe Saunders signed to take the fight and then failed the drugs test, and then he ended up not taking that fight. Um, who else is there? Munguia was a mandatory, he didn't take the fight. Golovkin is signed to the same promotional company, and he, for some reason, has never ever mentioned or spoken about fighting Andre. So at this point, you're just starting to look at it like, what else has this guy got to do? Because nobody has come out and said, let me fight Andre. No one. It's just becoming a little bit frustrating. So, bro,
Yeah,
it's just
I
frustrating.
I just I don't understand why he doesn't have the support of the boxing public. That's the part that I don't really understand, because I'm like, it's um I just don't get it. I don't get it, because I honestly believe if he was signed to Al Heyman, he would still have difficulty getting fights.
Of course.
Because I people act like Al Heyman is the end all be all, and yeah, he means a lot to the sport, but he's not the end all be all. There's a lot of guys on the PBC side that are very inactive or has not fought any credible names in a long time. And there's a laundry list of them, laundry
Facts.
list of them. You know what I'm saying? So um, he has leverage because of the amount of fighters that he has. Just what it is, like, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, Andrade is he's gonna go down in the history books as one of the most duck fighters in the sport, man. The sport's ever seen, and I think
It's a sad story. It's a real sad story.
yeah, it's and like I said, and the reason we're even talking about this is because if you go by boxing's blueprint to
Mm.
become a star, right, in the sport, the first thing is you need to go to the Olympics. You need to be an Olympian. He did that. Secondly, if you want to follow the Floyd Mayweather model, you have to be undefeated. He's undefeated. The third thing is you got to be a talker. You got to know how to sell yourself. He talks hella shit. Um, then on top of that, you got to perform inside of the ring. He's probably one of the most consistent performers in the sport. In the sport,
Everybody he's
he
been
give
in
it
the
to you
ring
right
with,
every
he's
time.
either put them down
Or
or
he's hurt
stopped
him.
them.
He's
Or
either put him down or stopped him,
no, at 160, everyone he's been in the ring with, he's either put them down or stopped them.
or stopped him. Yeah. So it's just, and then on top of that, the man wants the competition. Like, he wants to smoke. So I'm like, he has followed the blueprint to become a superstar in the sport, and for some reason, it just hasn't connected. It just hasn't connected. He's followed the blueprint to become a boxing superstar to a T, and he's still so far away from it because guys won't give him that opportunity. And the thing is, they should want the opportunity because he's a champion. He's a champion, and he offers a big bag of money. Like, it's just, I don't understand. It'll be one of the biggest mysteries, or around, in my personal opinion. And I think people that just speak negatively about Andre, I just think it's just a personal dislike. It's nothing you can't like. And I'm like, because he's not even your typical southpaw. Like, he'll get down and dirty with you. So he's not even on some Rego type shit. Like it's not even that. So it's just I mean it's crazy. I would love to have a conversation with him. Just period. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's
Facts.
just it's you gotta. I'm like this. I'm like you gotta salute. You gotta salute the real. In boxing, and he's one of the most skilled guys that we have in the sport, man. And the fact that none of these other champions want to see him is a problem. The fact that his mandatories don't want to see him, that's a problem. Even if he moved up, and people like, oh, well, he need to move up and weight. I'm like, why would you move up and weight and give up your belt and lose all your leverage? It don't make no sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Um, it's crazy. Bruce Schools, they said he was not a finisher, and now he proved it wrong. And Bruce Schools, let me add on to that, bro. Caleb Plant ain't no finisher neither, but he got the Canelo fight.
Billy Joe Saunders ain't no finisher neither.
He got the fight.
I damn
So,
sure Yildirim ain't no finisher.
Yildirim ain't no killer. Rocky Fielding ain't no killer. People just gonna pick and choose who they want to fight. And the thing is, you can't mention risk and reward when it's another champion. You can't. You know what I'm saying? Andre Southgate in the building said 100 people shouldn't be allowed to swerve around fighters like Andrade, robbing the fans of some great fights. Yeah, it's about 8 guys he can fight right now, and it'll be lit. 8 guys he can fight right now, and it'll be lit. You know what I'm saying? It'll be lit. And the thing is, there's guys that's slacking in 154 that can go up to 160 and see him.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? It's guys that can do that, and nobody wants to smoke with him. Conrad being a killer doesn't increase your chance to fight. Your chance to
I
fight
think it
Canelo.
reduces.
It reduces. That's a fact.
Your chance.
That's exactly what he's saying. It reduces your chances. Like, it reduces
Because
your chances.
I mean, Beterbiev is the biggest killer around those weight classes, and I don't see Canelo taking that fight.
Yeah. Period. You know what? This is a sidebar. Let me get the LW comment. Say Rocky Fielding fighting on Friday at 175.
I was invited to that fight as well. Him and Buddy Jackson on the same card. It's in Dubai or Saudi Arabia or something.
Yeah.
I was invited to that fight, but it's just traveling to those countries is a bit crazy.
Yeah. I had actually, Shane, I ain't even tell you this. I had somebody in my DM, right? That said, this is a random Joe. It said, yo, you would be a lot bigger if you start hitting the fights.
Why?
That's what he told me. It was just random. It was just a random comment.
Why did he think that?
I didn't even respond to it because I was just like, I don't know if he knows somebody that I know, or like, you just don't randomly message somebody with that. And I was just like, I didn't even know how to respond to that, because I was just like, you don't, in this day and age, I said, you don't have to go to the fight. You don't have to work the fights media wise to be successful. You don't.
And also, you gotta understand the model of a company. Like, if you understand the model of where and what thing, and just judging the direction where someone's trying to go, I don't see why. Like, if I'm being honest, we could go to a fight, and even if we went to the fight, we'll do things differently to any other person that's there.
Listen, you know what? I don't know if I don't know if this person's listening right now. I might take this snippet and just send it to him. But the way we operate, I would probably be more effective in the stands than I would actually in the media section.
Facts.
To be honest with you, I would literally go to a fight to enjoy the fight as a fan, and I would probably get more content than the people that's in the media joint. More original content. More original content.
If we were, bro, if you've seen Jeff when he used to do Media Chronicles, this dude used to do some dumb stuff. Like this dude will, like there's one of the videos where this dude will literally rate the ring card girls that's coming into the ring.
Yeah,
Like that's what Jeff used to do.
but the thing is though, like nobody else is doing that. Like
Yeah,
just everything that I dropped from on Media Chronicles, I'm like nobody else on the planet had it. It was 100% original. It was customized. You know what I'm saying? When you go to these media events, I'm like, you're one of 100 different media
100
people
asking
talking to
100 of the same
the
questions.
same darn questions, and everybody got the same video, and everybody's dropping it at the same time. So to
How
answer
do you expect to stand up?
yeah, so to answer your question, we're not very high on credentials compared to other people. If we get them, that's cool. If not, cool. But it doesn't affect the bottom line. It doesn't affect what we're doing. It doesn't affect the movement because the movement has nothing to do with that. We can talk. We rather talk to coaches and fighters anyway.
Literally, if you actually study, if you actually look at it, bro, the last 3 lives we've done, the amount of interaction we got on the last 3 lives we've done surpasses anything we can do at a fight.
At a fight. Like so,
It surpasses even if you were to interview even if you were to interview um even if you were to interview Al Heyman out of the closet, out of wherever he is right now, and we got a one-to-one face-to-face interview with Al Heyman, it
you know
would be
what?
amazing. It
Yeah,
would be amazing, but I don't think it's gonna do us any favors.
yeah. But the thing is, even with that, all people gonna do is snatch the content and use it
Yeah,
themselves. So that's what
literally.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. Like it's just everybody business model is not the same. You know what I'm saying? Everybody business model is not the same. But I'm like, it's like that's the old fashioned media thinking. Get a credential, go to a fight, hunt down a bunch of people, try to get interviews in a loud environment where you can barely hear the person talking. Is Shane, am I lying? You
Yeah,
understand what I'm
bro. That
saying? Like, so I'm like,
I ain't trying to do that,
I'm
bro.
like, we can do that if that's what y'all want. But I'm like, yo, I'm like, if I can hit a coach on the phone and be like, yo, jump on real quick, and you get that one-on-one interaction, that's better than us going to the fight, bro.
Of course, because
You know what I'm saying?
with me and like
Same.
I've been to several fights before, several fights. Um, and the truth is, even Jeff will tell you, out of everybody who interviews fighters, promoters, I ask the most unique questions than anyone. Anyone will tell you. I don't ask questions that anybody else will ask. You can ask anybody I've interviewed that always asks the hardest questions. You could go on my Instagram, you will see. But I still don't stand out because on the surface, all I look like is another dude interviewing someone.
Correct.
That's how I look like on the
I,
surface. So
but let
I
me get
really
in
don't
this.
really see the point.
Let me. L Dub said that's facts, Jeff. I do way more without a credential at the fights I go to. That's what I'm saying. Like it's just. That's what I'm saying. Like it's just if you're into credentials, if you're into credentials, and this I'm not taking a shot at anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever your lane is, that's your lane. But if your main focus is to get credentials, if your main focus is to get into fights and be in the media section and all that, I'm like, you're no different than Ellie Setback. You're no different than Radio Raheem. You're no different than Barbershop Conversations. You're no different than Blue Blood Sports TV. Like you're no different,
You're competing
than
with all
any.
of these dudes.
You're competing with all of those guys. You're competing with all of those guys because that's the same lane that they're in. I'm like, if I'm telling you we'll do more damage from the crowd than we would. Now, I'll give you an example. J Rock and Rosario. I didn't get a credential for that fight. They turned me down. So I went in the crowd. Right? So every seat in that place is a good seat. So I'm sitting next to Not Fear Charles' dad, Chris Casey. Big shout out to him. And we in the crowd, we chopping it up. When I say we seen at least 10 different boxing people in the crowd in the same section or in the concession stands outside. Like I had more access in the crowd than I did down the bottom. And I'm like, once the J Rock fight was over, I'm like, we down in the I'm like, I'm down ringside with the ring girls, Alicia Baumgartner. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, you don't need a credential to put in work. You don't need a credential to put in work. Some people feel like you need a credential to put in work or feel like you gotta belong. I don't want to belong. Like, we want to create our own lane. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not trying to blend in with everybody else. We trying to be on our own block, our own street. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just found that I just had to bring that up because I found that comment crazy. It was almost like he's basically saying because he said he seen me on Padman's live. That's what he said. He said he seen me on Padman's live on Instagram and he thought I was cool. He's like, but I think you'll be bigger if you start hitting the fights. Fair enough. I'm like, and I'm not even saying that you're wrong, but I'm like, it's different types of attention. I don't want that type. I don't want to be rubbing elbows with Ellie and all them. Like,
Well,
you
I'll
know what I'm
tell you.
saying?
I'll tell you. What I told the same dude, and I'll tell everybody this. I can tell you, we interact with more of our subscribers than all of those dudes do, and that's more satisfying to me. If you go on our website, you'll be able to see the amount of people that we talk to on a daily basis. You go to the group chat, the amount of people we talk to on a daily basis. The amount of people we read through every comment, every live, and we'll be on live for 3 hours talking to every single person. Nobody's doing that. That's more satisfying to me.
We can literally name you 100 people that we in constant contact with.
Just people that follow boxing like us.
Yeah, 100. I can name 100 people. If you gave me
I mean, there's like 12 of you guys in the live right now, and half of you guys in the live ain't even in the fantasy league.
Yeah, half of these people got my phone number. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, half these people got my phone number, man. So it's just there's different ways to approach situations. There's different ways to
Jeff didn't know none of these dudes before boxing. He met them during his tenure in boxing. That's what it is. It's just an authentic relationship.
And real recognize real at the end of the day. Real recognize real. I think we say it all the time, like L Dub is one of the best in the sport. Like, we think L Dub can get hired at any big time boxing company in the country. That's how highly we think of L Dub. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody's going to show you love the same way you show it. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me get in these comments real quick. Boxing Learner, I gotta go, but playback gang, appreciate you, bro. Way in my back. L Dub, for example, Heron is looking to repair the scar tissue above both eyes before returning early 22. See, people ain't know that, Dub.
Bro, at the end of the day, bro, I don't even want to question this dude on how he finds this information, because it's actually starting to, it's mind-boggling how someone can know so much stuff about boxing. Because I thought I knew a lot about boxing. This dude just teaches me every single day.
Yo, I told L Dub, I know you listening. This is a real story. I think I might have told you this before, yo. I was on live with Shane, right? This is before the Goodfellas podcast started. It was just a regular live. And I said, yo, bro, like, I said something and Shane was complimenting me on what I said. And I said, bro, I ain't even gonna front, man. I was just like, I do what I do, but I'm like, it's one dude I need for you to listen to, man. I'm like, his name L Dub. I said, you go listen to one of his lives, man, and I'm like, you're gonna completely change how you approach things when it come down to the sport of boxing. Before I knew it, every time L Dub went live, I see Shane in the comment section that he was like, yo, L Dub is something different. Like, I'm telling you,
this dude is just on drugs. If there was steroids for boxing knowledge, this dude has to give. This dude's on the finest juices, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
This dude is on clenbuterol, everything. He's doing the Gerald Miller.
The thing that's funny, yo, like, I tell people all the time, people go to Coppinger and and Chris Mannix and all these other guys, and I'm like, he's my Mike Coppinger, he's my Chris Mannix. Like if I need to know something, like I'm hitting Dub up.
Facts.
Period. I'm hitting
Facts.
Dub up, and I'm like, I feel like we gotta support people that's in the same lane with us, man. Like L Dub is definitely that dude, man. Go follow him on his social media. His YouTube channel is amazing. If you need to learn about boxing going forward, that's the guy to go see, man. Big shout out to him. That's family for real. William Gonzalez, not yet. I'll be in the league soon. Hey man, jumping that thing tonight, bro. We got fights this weekend, man. Andre Southgate, you know what? Out of all the boxing channels out there, you guys, and another two are the only people I subscribe to. That's a statement. You all have an awesome channel. Andre Southgate, listen,
That's love and respect.
yeah, we appreciate that, man. And
What I would say is, bro, right now, Andre Southgate made a very big statement a couple of weeks ago. He said to all of us that as much as I have respect for you, I'm gonna win this fantasy league.
Yeah,
and he said,
I like that energy,
and he's at the top of it right now. So
yeah, I like that energy, man. You know the thing that's funny is it's like, it kind of brings out just the competition in everybody because I'm a real competitive person. Like I'm very competitive, even if it's friendly competition. I'm still competitive as hell.
next week, I'm getting 7 points. Next week. When yard fights offer, I guarantee you I'm going to get the round specifically right. I guarantee.
The fact that I'm not in the top 5 right now is pissing me off.
My gosh, bro!
I'm not nowhere near the top 5 right
because
now.
you haven't got there's 5 guys this season that's picked a perfect round.
And I was the
Southgate,
only one
Conrad, Will, and you were the only one last season.
Last year.
Southgate, Conrad, Will, Rigo, and Adrian are 5 dudes who picked perfect rounds. I haven't picked one all season.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, man. Like, so it's just that fantasy league, man. Is a beautiful thing, man, because it just brings out the competition and everybody, man. It tests people boxing knowledge, the whole 9. LW, yeah, big shout out.
LW is in the boxing league as well. Shout out to LW.
Big shout out.
You're struggling. You're struggling like us, though. I can see you're struggling as well, bro.
Yeah, listen, they not making it easy on us, man. I blame Kenny Porter for screwing up my other.
Bro, I blame Kenny Porter because I picked 11 rounds. I said 11th round.
I picked the decision for Bud, man. He screwed up my prediction, yo. I blame Kenny for that, yo. But listen, man. This was a solid one, man. We gonna cut this one. We gonna cut this one right here. We'll be back tomorrow. We're gonna dip into TFM Cambosis, Stephen Fulton and Brandon Figueroa.
Predictions in the fantasy league.
Yeah, we're gonna get down to the technical analysis of both of those fights. Like that's what we do. That's our call.
I actually might go live for the Buddy Jack, and I won't be able to. It's on Friday. I'm busy on Friday.
Yeah, so we're gonna we actually Shane and I actually got to talk off camera in terms of I think we're gonna post the schedule when we're gonna be on
we're gonna be live for this. I don't know how we're gonna do the Cambosis Tiafimo and Fulton Figueroa. I don't know how we're gonna do that. We're gonna be live for both of them, but I don't know how.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out at the end of the day, man. Miles Williams, take it easy, fellas. I'll tune in tomorrow.
Next week we got what day? Tank is fighting on a Sunday, bro.
He's fighting on a Sunday. Yes.
Why?
I actually like it. I don't know why, but I like it.
Because Saturday, Devin Haney's fighting, and what's it called? Anthony Yard, Lyndon Arthur's fighting next Saturday.
Mm-hmm. So we got a lot.
There's 3 fights next Saturday, 2 fights this Saturday, 3 fights next weekend, 2 fights this weekend.
I think, and the thing is, I think Tank and Pitbull are gonna be a good fight. I think it's gonna be a good fight.
Potentially,
I really think it's gonna be a good fight because I think Pitbull probably got a set of whiskers on him, and he's gonna sit there and he gonna go. It's
And
not lasting.
he might smother a lot of Tank's work as well.
Yeah, I don't see it lasting 6 rounds. I'd be surprised if it go past six. Um,
Does
I'd
he
be
have the
surprised.
power to hurt Tank?
I don't know. Like Cruz is a volume guy. He has power, but he's a volume guy. So if he's I mean, he's definitely gonna probably outwork Tank. But it's
Yeah,
like
that's a
it's, it's
fact.
like
That's
it's
not
like
that
it's
difficult.
any other yeah, any other tank. It's like any other tank fight. What's gonna happen when he hits you with that money shot? If he hits you with that money shot, what are you gonna do? And he's right there to be had. Like he gets low, but I mean, hell, he's like 5'3". Like you can't get no lower. You can't get no lower. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, they 5'5" and 5'3". Like, I mean, you getting below shots is not an option in this fight. You might as well be punching the canvas. You know what I'm saying? Real rap. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna get into all of that next week. We got a full plate this week, full plate next week. Um,
I
you
think the
know,
week after you got a Beterbiev, Conor Ben,
yeah.
and
We busy. We busy for the rest of the year. We're
yeah,
busy for the rest
Beterbiev,
of
Conor Ben, and I can't remember. And then
the
the
year.
week after you got Derek Chisora, uh, and then
Joseph
you
Parker.
also got Derek Chisora, Joseph Parker. You got Golovkin, Maratta.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what other? Is there any other American fights that I'm missing? Potentially, I don't know off the dome, but there's fights.
Yeah, we're busy
Donaire versus Caballo.
down
That's a
there.
dope fight as well. Dope fight as well. I'm trying to figure out any other fights.
Yeah, we're busy for the rest of the year, man. We're
Yeah,
so
facts.
busy. Listen, we're so busy. We don't even have time to do interviews and stuff. I like
Nah, bro.
people ask me why I don't interview fighters, and I'm like, it's not the fact that I don't like interviewing fighters. Of course, I like talking to fighters. We rather talk to the coaches and the trainers than the actual fighters. To be honest with you, that's just a personal preference we have. But we don't even have time for that, and it's just that's why a lot of these guys be trying to jump on live with us. Like a lot of these guys be trying to jump on live, and I respect it because I'm like they not afraid because I'm like once the live go off, it's going up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like I can take it down and clean it and re-drop it, but I ain't trying to do that. I'm too busy for all that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, whatever you say on camera,
Bro,
that's what's going up.
by the time you take it down, clean it up, and put it back up again, we gotta go live again.
I gotta go live again. Yeah. So I'm like, it's a new era in terms of how we cover the sport. And if you don't like it, that's cool because it's not traditional. You know what I'm saying? If you prefer another method, that's cool as well. But this situation, it works for us at the end of the day, and we can always go back to that. Down the line, we can always go back to interviewing people. We can always go get credentials, things like that. But I'm like, if we can make a dent in the sport and we don't have to go through the trouble of trying to convince someone to give us a credential, like we're an asset to their event, then we're not going to go through the hassle. We're not going to go through the hassle.
Exactly.
Like we're going to bring the party to us at the end of the day, man. But I did not mention this man's name all live, and I do apologize, man. Big shout out to BoxingFirst Vlog, man. Prayers up to him. He's recovering right now. I tried to call him, I didn't get no answer, but I'm trying to reach out to him again. Prayers up to him. He will be okay. But he's in the hospital right now. So big shout out to our big bro, BoxingFirst
Definitely.
Vlog. Go subscribe to his channel as well, man. Shane, give your social media before we get up out of here.
I'm Shane the number one.
Yes, exclusively on Instagram. Exclusively on Instagram. Don't pay attention to how many people follow him. Is who's following him. You got a lot of heavy hitters following him. Go follow him on Instagram. You can follow me all over the place, man. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, G5Jeff TV. Go to the website, g5jefftv.com. Go register for the Boxing Prediction Fantasy League. $500 to the winner of the league, and you get a championship belt. All of it is free to join. Free to join. If you know your boxing, join that league. Test your knowledge with the rest of us. shit talking, all that good stuff, man. So listen, this was a good one, man. Hour and a half strong, man. Covered a lot of different things, man. Big shout out to Demetrius Andre, man. We riding with you over here, baby. We riding with
Facts.
you for sure. So on behalf of Boxing First Vlog, VP Shane and your boy G5 Jeff TV, we'll see y'all tomorrow.